morning and welcome to this morning service from Wimbledon Spiritualist Church, or from my home, as I've been temporarily, while we're in lockdown. But certainly welcome to our church congregation and our congregation from Hackbridge and our congregation, from all around the world, as many people have been joining us for this last 9 weeks or so. So lovely to have you all on board, and I will say hello to some of the people that are putting their notes on Facebook to say hello, and it's just wonderful to be here again with you all. So we will actually start our morning service. I'm very lucky to be joined by the medium Ashley Mills, who'll be doing the clairvoyant part of the service. Very, very lucky as well with a dear friend also to Wimbledon, Antilly Lapsley. We're doing a trance address. And the first person I'll be handing over is my daughter, Rachel Davis, who we're doing our healing moments and prayers. So we've got a full packed service for you all. And we will start by all joining together, closing our eyes as we have an invocation for our loved ones. We ask our Father, Mother God, to join us in this service, to guide us, to keep us. We ask for our loved ones to be around us and to guide us. We also ask for blessings on all heads, all families represented, that they may be able to have the richness of this service and to know that we can all come together in fellowship and like minds. And we just have a moment and just take a couple of deep breaths as we begin to open up to our spiritual family. And so it's just wonderful to know that we're all together at this moment. We may be in our separate homes, but just imagine putting your arms out to all your loved ones at this time, and all of those that you know are sharing this service with us. I've been watching a service this morning that seems to be Pentecost. And if there's not spiritualism within the Bible, it is that point of Pentecost, where the spiritual gifts were endowed to all the disciples. But we just know that we may not see our loved ones around us, but they are there in our homes, supporting us, trying to inspire us, and know that we're all together in this. None of us are alone. We may feel physically alone, but spiritually our homes are full. We thank thee, Father, Mother God. Amen.
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 Now I'd like to introduce Rachel Davis, who will be doing our healing moments for us this morning. Rachel.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So if everyone can just close their eyes and take themselves off to a lovely place. Divine Spirit, Father, Mother God, we thank you for your heavenly presence in our lives. And as we look to you for guidance and upliftment, we ask that your healing angels and guides draw near and envelop us in all their love and healing light. During these difficult and strange times, your love and guidance is needed and sought more than ever. Please shine the power of Spirit and heaven upon us all. Protect us, guide us, love us, and heal us of all illness and wounds of the mind, body, and soul. We ask that your golden light of healing and protection shines upon us all, but especially those on the front line fighting this pandemic, the doctors, the nurses, and all the caregivers, and the scientists who are striving to find a vaccine. For all those suffering, whether man-made or natural, for all the animals in the world, and for Mother Earth, and for all the names inscribed in our healing books and our hearts. Let us take a moment's healing silence, time for us to send our love, light, and healing energy to all in need. We thank you, Great Spirit, and in your name we pray. Amen.
think we will, Richard. I want to thank Rachel for those healing moments and know that our healing angels will be out there doing the work, and we thank them and we send those blessings with us. And I'd just like to say hello to everyone that's joined us this morning. I also want to remind people that before I pass on to Ashley, that what we need to do is to give us as much confirmation that something is accepted as possible, because we don't have the chance of being physically in the same room with Ashley as we would during a service. Then we need you to be able to say yes, but because the connections are sometimes a few seconds behind, 10 seconds with Facebook, sometimes a bit longer with YouTube, that don't just say yes, because Ashley will have moved on and said some more evidence. So you don't have to feed the medium. We're not asking you to feed the medium, but if you can just say yes and what it is you can accept, yes, I understand him, or yes, you can say yes, it's dad, yes, it's brother. You don't have to give masses of information, just a confirmation that you can take something. Maybe a date, it may be a month, it may be a special anniversary that you can accept, it may be a health condition, and you just say yes, accept health condition, yes, accept that's what they liked, or a hobby or something, just so we can keep that flow going, and it just gives them a little bit of assistance, especially if we've got 2 or 3 people that are all accepting the same piece of information. And if Ashley gives a name and say 3 people can accept the name, then that's when we need to narrow it down to sort of say, can you accept this person was in their 60s, so that we're actually not quite dismissing the people that say, oh yes, my connection was much younger. It may be some of this is an essence of your loved ones trying to communicate, because if you can imagine, a whole literally queue of people from the spirit world all trying to be able to say hello to a loved one and say they're fine, then sometimes if they suddenly hear their name being given in a message, then it's an opportunity for them to suddenly barge forward and say, oh yes, she can accept that. But quite often it will be the medium needing to say, I've got this person, and they're saying, yes, they know they're with you. Or in some situations we've found over the last few weeks, they've said, no, that isn't my family. They might think that I'm with them, but it's not, because, I need Sandra, I need Sarah. So just a little bit of info. If it's maybe your first time that you've found us, you may have found us by accident. You may be one of our regulars that's been following us all of the week since lockdown. But as I say, I'll be passing over to Ashley in a moment and say, please give your love and your thoughts, over to Ashley as she begins to demonstrate her gift of mediumship to you. There's never enough time for everybody to be able to come through. We could work for 24 hours and there still wouldn't be enough time. So just gain from each message, that knowledge that there's specific information being given as an example, of life existing, intelligent life of your loved one. And for those of you that are asking for guidance, if your loved one didn't know about accountancy on earth, they won't know it in the spirit world. So don't necessarily think you're going to get the answers to all the problems in the world. Find an expert is what your family would say. So I'm hoping now to pass you to Ashley, and Ashley will be ready. So Ashley, please, we are very happy to have you and enjoy this part of the service with you. Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you very much for inviting. Okay, well, welcome everyone, and thank you very much for inviting me to join in and do the mediumship for the service this morning. I'm very honoured to have been invited to do the mediumship, and I hope even if people don't receive a personal message that they'll still get some comfort and upliftment with the connection with spirit today. Okay, now I don't assume how people will understand the information. Some people understand it literally, some people understand it symbolically, but as long as you can understand it, that's all that matters. I only give what Spirit give me. So let's see which communicator. Let's see. Okay, because I can't see any writing. I can't see any writing on the screen. Morning, Georgie. Hi. Hi, Denise. Hello, Mary. Hi, Lauren. Thank you for joining. Hi, Michael. Hi, Owen. Okay, that's fine. Hi, Phil. Nice to see you again. Hi, Ashley. From one Ashley to another. Hi, Shirley. Hi, Karen. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Christine. Hi, Rosangela. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hi, everybody. If we say hi to everyone personally, it'll probably take up the rest of the service. So I will do my best to get the feedback on what you say is confirmation, what Spirit are giving me, and let's see what communication comes through, if that's all right. So initially, I've got the energy of a lady drawing close. She's making me feel as if she was past retirement age, and I get a sense of a very gentle lady, a very well-mannered lady, a very loving lady, certainly someone that would have considered and observed people's feelings as well as their actions and their words. Quite an empathic lady. She's making me aware that the recipient of the message is feeling quite burdened because I've suddenly got a lot of pressure and tension in my shoulders and my neck. So the person that I need to be linking with has sort of pressures or burdens, whether they're putting it on themselves or whether they're feeling it externally. But that's what she's giving me at this time. So do please, as I say, I can't see any writing, so. Okay, great. Okay, so I'll carry on. Now, this lady does feel as if she had quite white hair when she passed, but it was always very neatly styled. This lady definitely took care of her appearance for as long as she could for herself, but towards the end, she did get help and assistance with her appearance when she couldn't manage things. I'm also getting a sensation of a tight chest connected to breathing with this lady. I don't feel it's heart, I feel it's more breathing. And I'm having to sort of rest to catch my breath before I carry on a conversation or finish a sentence with this lady. She is giving me the name Mary. Now that could be the recipient of the message or a name connected to her. And I do feel as if I've got a family connection with this communicator. So I want to say, okay, I want to say either mum or grandmother with this communicator. But her emphasis is her energy. I just feel such a loving, kind soul. Someone that would have just taken the time to really listen. If you had a concern, if you had a problem and went to her, she would absolutely have given you 100% of her attention and taken your concerns and your questions on board and thought about how she answered. She wasn't a slapdash reactive lady by any stretch of the imagination. She would really have cared how the person heard her answer. She never expected anyone to always take her advice, but she was grateful that you listened to her advice. She said it was always up to the recipient of the advice to do what they wanted with it. As we all know with spirit communication, it's free will what you do with the information that's passed on, but that was how she lived her life too. She didn't expect you to follow her advice word for word, but take it on board and then make the choice that's right for you. And she's giving this advice now. Okay. She's saying, okay, Tracy and Pauline, listen in. She's saying, go with your gut. If you can think about the current situation that you're dealing with and possible outcomes, try and think ahead as to what going forward, the outcome would lead to and which decision feels right in your gut. Some people make decisions with their heart. She's saying some people make it with their head, but she says go with your gut. Which avenue, which pathway going forward feels right in the decision. So think of making a decision one way and try and see how that's going to lead going forward. Try and think of a decision going another way and see how that pathway is leading forward and which one feels right. Which one is drawing you rather like a compass to go forward. That's how she's giving it to me. But okay, this is fine. Sometimes Spirit use economy of effort. So it may be right for more than one person. I never judge. If Spirit are using economy of effort, brilliant, because it's giving more than one person a message. She's also taking me to someone that has a piece of her jewelry. So she left someone a piece of her jewelry. And it's a piece of jewelry that isn't necessarily worn every day, but it is a piece that is cherished by the recipient. She's also talking about she doesn't take it personally if they don't wear it every day. Sometimes they might want to just wear it for special occasions. Also, they might want to keep it safe and sort of get it out and just hold it rather than actually wear it. If they feel her drawing close, they might want to use that as a connection to bring her even closer. And that gives a lot of people comfort when they think about someone, when they feel a loved one drawing close. Having something personal to amplify that connection is a beautiful thing. So she's making me aware of that piece of jewelry. Okay, that's lovely. Okay. All right, that's wonderful. Thank you. So what she's saying is, if you do acknowledge a sense of her around, hold that piece of jewelry, ask those questions like you would have if she'd still been alive, face to face, and just be open and receptive to that connection and communication of answers that come back in reply. It might be just a feeling in your body. It might be a picture in your mind or a word that comes into you. It might be something that comes later in the day or later in the week, that you might have a conversation or a phrase or something you see or hear comes into your mind, and you'll know that that is the answer from this beautiful lady. Now, as well as being quite particular about her appearance, she was also quite house proud. Now, I don't want to say she was what we would consider OCD in modern standards, but she did like things a certain way. She did like to do things a certain way to a level that she was happy with. But what she's saying is different generations have a different set of boundaries. So please don't think that you have to live your life according to my set of rules and my boundaries, because you've got a different life. It's not about copying previous generations. It's about taking their guidance and their experience and then deciding what's right for you in your life. But just know that there is so much love coming from this lady. She just wants to offer so much support and love with you. Okay? And sense I'm getting with her is when she draws close, it will almost feel as if a blanket is being wrapped around your shoulders to relieve that tension. Okay, do please look out for that in the future. But I feel that that is the end of this lady's message. I hope it has given the recipient, or recipients plural, some comfort and upliftment. See the next communicator coming in. And I'm getting awareness of a gentleman coming in now. I feel quite tall with this gentleman. I'm sitting down, but I definitely feel that he is taller than myself by a few inches. So I want to say nearing 6 foot if he wasn't just above 6 foot. I do feel quite slim built with this gentleman. I wouldn't call him lanky, but I would call him slim. His build was in proportion to his height. I don't feel a lot of muscle or a lot of padding on him, just in proportion. I do get the sense he had quite salt and pepper hair when he passed, but I do feel quite a good covering of hair on his head. I don't feel any baldness or patches of baldness with him. It might well have thinned, but it still overall looked as if he had a good covering. At some point in his life, he would have tried to have a moustache or a beard, but I don't feel that he kept it. It was a sort of, let's just see, that it didn't stay. What I feel with this gentleman is his character. I feel quite a moral gentleman, quite an upright character. He was someone that wouldn't have automatically told people what to do with their lives, but he was very concerned when he felt people were under stress or they had concerns. It was almost like he could tap into their mindset and see that there was a lot going on in their mind, and he would wait till they come to him. Just very respectful gentleman, but he always tried to be very concerning and respectful with the response that he gave to people. Okay, there we go. Sorry, apologies. Wasn't aware that was happening. He was really someone that thought about his words, and that was also very clear in his work life. Okay, he was someone that had a position or level of authority in his working life, either a supervisor or manager, and he worked very hard throughout his life to help and support those he worked with. Okay, very just considerate gentleman, very positive gentleman. He always tried to encourage people to make the best of things. He didn't pretend everything was plain sailing or easy, but he encouraged people to make the best of things. Now, I do get the sense that the recipient of this message is also a grandchild, but someone that doesn't give themselves credit. That is quite a key part of this message. They're quite hard on themselves, he's saying, that they don't give themselves credit for how far they've come. All they're seeing is how far they've still got to go. But he wants them to acknowledge how far they've come already in a particular situation or their journey as a whole. Okay, that's fine. No, that's fine. He is just really wanting to come on and offer support, and rather like a pep talk. Just keep going, doing what you're doing, keep putting one foot in front of the other. Now, he understands that travel is restricted, but he's encouraging the recipient to use means like this to still connect with relevant people in their lives so that they don't feel completely at a standstill in their life. Okay, he says he doesn't mind about the speed or the time frame that it takes to get something resolved or completed. It's about keeping that forward momentum going. So he wants to remind of the analogy of the tortoise and the hare. Not about the time frame, it's about keeping going, keeping moving forward. Also, he's just popping in a key piece of information that someone might be able to take as evidence. He's giving the recipient an old-fashioned dessert of a banana split. So I don't know whether this was something that they would remember he enjoyed when they had a meal or celebration, or whether it's something they enjoyed when they were younger. But he's giving a banana split dessert. So that should be quite specific for somebody.
Wow.
Okay, right. And he's saying there was an occasion where someone laughed because they didn't just want the vanilla ice cream, they wanted a mixture. Normally where this meal happened, it was just the normal vanilla ice cream and that was it. But one time they specifically asked for either a mixture of scoops or a different flavor ice cream. And although they might have felt, should I ask for this or not, the waiting staff didn't mind at all, and they were happy to make it personal for this person. So what he is saying in symbolic terms is, don't be afraid to do things on a personal level and make something yours, either the way that you're doing things at a personal touch, or don't be afraid to ask other people to help you in a very specific way rather than a generic way. Don't feel you have to be like the crowd. He wants you to celebrate and own being you as a unique person. Celebrate that, enjoy it, embrace it. Don't feel you have to be a carbon copy of other people. Okay. Well, I am asking for it. I am. Okay. No. I'm glad for the feedback. It's good. Okay. This gentleman was quite particular in trying to match the hanky in the breast pocket of his jacket with his tie. If there was a combination where he could have the two identical, or at least an identical color, he was quite attention to detail is what I want to say. Okay, fabulous. Okay. Yeah, this quite a dapper gentleman. A lot of people remarked that it was quite unusual for gentlemen to have that attention to detail to their appearance. And it wasn't to please other people, absolutely not. He said it was to make me feel ready to face the day, whether it was on a work level or a social level. It was about being ready to face the day, almost as if he had a sort of extra boost in his confidence or his ability to carry out what he needed to do. And it wasn't necessarily something that mattered to other people, but it mattered to him. But people were observant of his attention to detail. What he would like to say as well is there are things that you have thought have been misplaced, but as you are going through a process of clearing and tidying and dotting I's and crossing T's, you will find what has been mislaid. It hasn't been lost, it's just been mislaid. So he wants to give that reassurance and confirmation. And he's showing me a pile of papers and saying, don't be afraid to go through things with a fresh pair of eyes. If you try and do it all in one go, you don't always notice the one thing you're looking out for because it doesn't spring out at you. So leaving it and coming back to it another time may well help you find that thing that you're looking for. Okay, all right. Thank you for giving the confirmation, Bev. I'll carry on. Now, he's also saying that although you don't put a lot of emphasis on physical possessions, he does want you to decide what else you want to take care of. And he's showing me photos or possibly a letter that has been kept and looked after for a number of years. But he's saying, don't worry if those things tarnish and fade. Just keep the energy of those trinkets and those mementos and almost take a mental picture of them to cherish. If you wish to put them in something like a frame or something that will maintain them for longer, it's entirely up to you. But he says, please don't put too much emphasis on physical things. Just cherish the memories and the energy of why they were given, of why someone took the time and the care to create that and give it to you. He's also talking about a recent reconnection with someone from a number of years ago. I don't know whether this was a work colleague or whether it was a childhood friend or a school friend, but he's talking about a recent reconnection with somebody. Okay. Okay, lovely. Thank you for that confirmation, Bev. Please, please, just take this gentleman's upliftment. Take his support for whatever it is you want to complete in your life. And know that it will be finished and completed in the right time frame for you. He's saying some people worry if there are delays, but that is giving Spirit the opportunity to help things complete even better than you expected to if you'd done it in your perception of time frame. Okay, it's just about adding that little bit of extra sparkle from Spirit, that little bit of extra finishing touch to help things resolve and complete even better for you. So do look out for that as you're coming to completion of this situation. How are you doing for time? Okay, so I've got a chance for another communicator. Lovely. I've got the energy of a couple coming forward. Now, I don't get the sense that they were husband and wife, more of a sibling connection, that were very, very close. Now, we all know that some people can be close to their siblings in childhood and not so much as we get on with our own individual lives. But I do feel that because this brother and sister, I want to say, were quite close in age, they kept a very close connection throughout their whole lives, right up to the end of their physical lives. They were quite close in their personalities as well. They understood how the other one thought, so they gave each other that respect, and they didn't let things get to them if the other person said something that might have upset other people, they let it go over their head. They let it go. They didn't let things niggle or bite, compared to if the sibling had said it to someone other than them. And this is part of the message. Now, I do get the sense that the brother was older than the sister, but I do feel that they had similar colouring. And I'm getting very warm eyes. Both people talked with their eyes. There was a lot of non-verbal communication from them as well. So their facial expressions were just as much a part of their full communication as the words that they were conveying. I get a very gentle humour with both the brother and the sister. They wouldn't have had a dry, sarcastic humour. It was more observational humour. So they would have recounted stories to help put a smile on people's faces. So the humour was never directed at someone to make them the butt of a joke. They wanted people to laugh with them. Now it's the brother that is talking, and he is mentioning that the recipient of the message has worked very hard on not allowing other people's words to hurt them, and to allow some things to go over their head. They've been trying very hard in this phase of lockdown to take a look and take stock of their life, and to see the words for what they are, and to understand that some things are just an observation rather than a criticism when people say things. And he's encouraging them to keep on going with that process of awareness, and really listen to the words that are being said. So if they're not meant in a harsh tone, don't see them as a judgment or a criticism. And his sister is smiling because she knows that the recipient is a very gentle soul, very intuitive, very empathic, and that this process isn't easy for them to detach from that sense of awareness and heightened energy of people's words. But she's saying it will be very beneficial because they won't overthink things going forward. They won't worry unnecessarily with how it's meant to be taken on board. They'll just, okay, I'll ask for more specific information. Okay, fine. Okay, I'm suddenly getting the image of a garden. The lady loved her flowers. Now, she might not necessarily have been the one to plant them, but she certainly loved tending them and going out and being amongst the flowers in the garden. And if she was outside of her home, she would have admired flowers, for instance, in a park, or if she went somewhere where there was a carpet garden or flowers set out, she would have appreciated it. She also loved having flowers in her home, and she really did all she could, if she was given flowers or she got flowers and brought them inside, to care for them, to keep them going as long as possible. And she's joking about putting the penny in the water to keep the flowers going for as long as possible. Okay, thank you, Diane. Yeah, interesting little tip. I will be honest, I'm not really a flower person, but she's talking about putting the penny in the water to extend the life of cut flowers. And she's giving Diane, now again, apologies because I'm not that familiar with more unusual flowers, she's giving you dahlias, if that makes sense to Diane. They're very bright flowers, and there's loads and loads of tiny little petals on this flower, but they're very intense colour. Okay, you know more about flowers than I do. If it's not a daisy, a rose, a tulip, a daffodil, or a sunflower, I've got no idea. But the dahlias, she's talking about when they're fully open, the heads of the flower is very, very large and very, very detailed. Lots and lots of tiny little petals. And she's saying throughout your life, Diane, you are adding to your own bloom. You are allowing yourself to blossom and open more fully. But okay, thank you. She's saying we don't know all the answers when we're born. It's about taking on board the information and learning as we grow in life to add so that we can blossom more fully as we go through life. So she's saying, be gentler on yourself. Don't be so self-critical. Don't allow people's words that aren't meant to be critical to hurt you as much. So keep going with this personal growth journey that you're going on at this time, and really allow yourself to bloom fully, because people will notice the benefit of this work that you are doing on yourself. When we come out of this isolation phase, people will see a light and a radiance in you that wasn't there before. So keep going. Even if you don't feel the results yet, keep going, because other people, once you are amongst them again, will notice it. They won't necessarily understand what it is. They won't necessarily be able to put their finger on it, but they will notice and remark on it. You will stand out more. You will shine more. And she is thrilled for you that this process has happened, because she says, better to have learnt it at any point in your life than never learnt it at all. And her brother is echoing this. They give so much love and so much motivation for you to keep going, because she says it's rather like going through a tunnel, a very long tunnel, where when you start, you can't see any chink in light. And she's saying the closer you get to the end of the tunnel, that light gets bigger and brighter. And she says you're coming out into the daylight again. And she can't wait to see the results of what that then leads on to for you. And she just asks you to keep that image of that beautiful full blossom in your mind. You might well find a picture that you can print out, or something on a card that you can put up that will keep reminding you of that full blossom. But keep it in mind to help spur you forward and keep you going as we do this. She's also talking about September as being a connection for you, whether that is a birthday, an anniversary, or a passing, or another personal event that was significant to you in September. And I'm getting a sense that it was around the middle of September. Okay, lovely, thank you. But she would, just before they're closing, saying, don't be afraid to do something for you, whether it's buying yourself something when you're so preoccupied buying things for other people and thinking of other people first. She says, reward yourself for the work that you've been doing. Treat yourself, to give yourself permission that you are worth that time and effort on. Don't feel that all this work shouldn't have a reward. She says it's not selfish, but it will spur you on to keep working on yourself and keep loving yourself and understanding that it's worth it. You are worth it. Because when you see that you are worth the time and effort, other people will acknowledge that more, and other people will give you the credit and appreciation and the respect that you have always deserved. And there is just this amazing wave of love and acknowledgement from this lovely brother and sister for you. Okay. Have we got time for another message? Okay.
If you have just a quick connection.
Yeah.
Thank you. Lovely.
I'll see if anyone can do that. Okay. I'm getting the image that a communicator is giving me first before they're giving me an image of themselves. And it's almost of a work folder that can fold out. So it's like a leather-bound folder that's A4 size when it's folded up, but the leaves open out to spread wider. And there's some paper inside it. And a gentleman is giving this image because he's talking about the recipient trying to get organized, trying to get a plan of action in place to reach a goal. Now, this gentleman had hair, almost black in appearance when he was alive on the earth plane, and very piercing blue eyes. But I do get the sense that he passed when his hair had gone greyish white. So he's showing himself in a younger age because he wants to be reminded as when he was very vibrant, when he was healthy. He doesn't want to be remembered for the end part of his life because he doesn't want to dwell on how he passed. He understands that the recipient is still struggling with how he passed. And he says, forget that. I don't want you to remember me like that. I want you to remember me strong and healthy and alert. But he's talking about this person having goals in their life. He says they will stay dreams if you don't work out a plan. So he's giving them this folder with the notepad so that they can start creating steps as to how they're going to action the way forward to attain their goal. He says it's great having ideas, it's great having dreams and aspirations, but if they don't have the plan, they don't have the steps to meet that goal, it will just stay a dream. And this is what he wants to say. And that is for a lady. He says it's a goal that isn't just to do with family. It is a personal goal. It is a personal aspiration. But those goals are just as worthy as goals for the whole family that help other people as well. He says, please don't sell your dream or your goal short. If it matters that much, you will find the support or the advice to help you work out that plan. If you can't think about it yourself, ask. Just talk to people that would understand why this goal or dream matters to you and let them offer some advice so that you can work out this plan. Okay, thank you, Natalie. Now, this goal or dream is something very personal to you. You might not have talked to anyone else about it, but it's something that's been in your thoughts on and off for a long time. So it might have started off when you were younger and you brushed it aside. Oh, that's unrealistic. That doesn't matter. And your head then got diverted and your focus got diverted to daily life. But then it came back into your mind. And the same thing happened. He said, this time, he's joking, third time lucky. Don't ignore it. If something keeps coming back into your life, it comes back for a reason. If it's meant to happen, and if you want it enough, start creating the plan. Don't poo-poo it, don't belittle it, don't think you're not worthy of receiving it. Give yourself that benefit of at least trying to go for it. And you'll see what beautiful things happen as a consequence. It might not be the exact goal that you'd anticipated when it first came into your mind, but he says the result will be worth the effort. Okay. But I do still feel I'm with Natalie, because that name, as soon as you said that name, it's almost like it turned into neon lights. It's almost like this gentleman clicked on a switch and it just sprung into neon lights. Okay, there we go. So please don't belittle your dreams. Even if other people around you don't understand why this matters to you and belittle their own dreams because they don't have the confidence to walk towards them, don't let that stop you. He's talking about letting your creativity flow. It's not about being acknowledged by wider people as being artistic or creative. It's just about expressing your creativity and seeing where that creativity leads you, even if it's just for your own pleasure, even if it's just drawing or doing something to start with that you can put in a scrapbook, or just something you can have in your own home. It's still worth it. But you never know. It might be one time that somebody sees it if they come to your house once we don't have all this isolation, and just see where it leads, because he's talking about that drop in a puddle, that ripple effect. Even if it's encouraging other people to be more creative and express their creativity, your expression will be worth it. It's not about the actual project, it's about the expression of creativity. And encourage other people. If you see youngsters in your life being creative but not thinking that their efforts are enough by other people's standards, say, well, what do you think of it? Are you happy with it? Don't let other people's benchmark and judgment be the sound in your head, your voice, your idea of how important that creativity is, the voice that counts. Okay, so a lot of support for you to just see where those pencils or pens or whatever medium you choose to use takes you. Enjoy that process. But he's also saying get something new. So whether at the minute you're just using pencils or pens you've already got, or a notebook that you've had gathering dust on a shelf, he says get something fresh, get something new, and make that experience special and enjoy the process. Thank you very much, everyone, for having me on this divine service this morning. It's been lovely to join with you all.
Thank you very much, Ashley, for a very uplifting demonstration. I'm sure there's many people, there's so many little comments on the bottom about a wonderful demonstration. So if you look to the bottom of the page, you may be able to see later. So a lovely demonstration there.
It's been a real privilege to do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ashley. Really appreciate it. Okay, so the next part of our service, we're delighted to have Anthony back with us, and an opportunity for those of you perhaps that have never seen a demonstration of trance, where we have an opportunity of listening to the inspirers and teachers that work through Anthony. So Anthony, hello again.
Hello.
Okay, and Thank you so much for agreeing to this morning, and we look forward to hearing your lovely inspired words and the words of all of those that work with you in a team. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm
Thank you for inviting me.
to you. Okay, a privilege. I shall look forward to listening. I'm often in the kitchen when you're on at church, so this way, at least I'm actually being able to sit in and listen myself. So thank you very much, Anthony.
My pleasure. Welcome, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. And I hope you're enjoying this beautiful day. Ray and Jackie have asked me to come along today to get my friends to talk to you a little bit about what's going on at the moment. So I don't know what they're going to talk about, but let's get them to do that. I will be bringing through, my mind has gone a blank. I shall be bringing through Bartholomew. He's only been with me for about 5 weeks or so I'm still getting used to him. He doesn't have to get used to me at all because he's already there. So I shall just go into the oneness, and I'll be a few moments before he comes through, but you will hear him when he comes through. Thank you. Good morning, and blessings to you all. We pray that your lives are full of peace and understanding at this time of distraction in your world. So you are being beset by many, many distractions, most of which you do not understand. But for the most part, it is the lack of understanding which is the most important part of transformation. For you are able to place yourselves openly in your heart and in your mind and not allow entered this new century for the last 20 years, and it has been beset by many difficulties for you. You are approaching a time in your lives where much change will take place. You just have to look across the world to see the impact that the pandemic is having on all countries. And then specifically, you can see the fallout that is happening in America, in Hong Kong, China, and also here in your country, Great Britain. There are many changes that you are being asked to adapt to. So begin to trust more in your hearts that the pathway, that the journey you are on is the right journey and pathway for you to be traveling. Please do not compare your life or your journey to those of the lives of others. Each one of you is on a most specific journey. It is only appropriate to you by allowing yourselves to compare you to the life of others only causes confusion, only reinforces those fears which you are determined to transform. Your life is one of transformation, not one of comparison. Comparing is not odious, as you say. Comparing is criminal, for it places you, it incarcerates you in those places of your mind and your heart that only iterate those fears that you have experienced in your life, rather than helping you to transform your life. So there is greater love, there is greater light with which you are able to move forward. So we ask you all, forget the past. Trust yourselves within the moment of nothing, the moment of no knowledge, for it is in the space where you know nothing that you have the skills to elicit from that nothing, from that which is everything, and choose for yourself that which is going to be most helpful, that which will help you love more unconditionally and to spread your light infinitely. So this trust is most important at this time throughout the world. We imagine for many of you, you are saying, how can you trust these people in authority whom we have voted to lead our lives, to manage our lives? But you did vote for them to lead and to manage your lives. So trust in that decision that each one of you have made. No need to carp about democracy. Your democracy has always been fueled by the majority winning and then being given the veto to lead and manage on your behalf. So trust in this leadership. We know for some of you, you will find it difficult to surrender your prejudice at this time, but we implore you that this is the time to surrender such prejudices. Discriminate not within your heart, but allow your heart to love unconditionally. It is all part of your divine plan, a divine plan which you have drawn up. You have drawn it up with the aid of Spirit for you all within your society, unbeknownst to your individual selves. You all work as one. You all work as a unified being of love and light and energy. So you already know all that there is to know. It is only your prejudices and the way you discriminate that holds your world back from being one of unified love and light. But that is no great matter, for we know you will achieve this unified state of love and light. It will be embraced, perhaps not within your lifetimes, but your world will achieve that which it has been here created to achieve. It is a prodigious plan, all of which you build in your own ways to achieve the edifice of unified love and light. So trust in yourselves, trust in others. If you trust in yourselves, trusting in others will be a simple thing to do. The second part of the equation, which you are all hoping to achieve at this time, is responsibility, self-responsibility. Each one of you must take responsibility for the decisions you make in this life, for the feelings that inhabit your behaviors, for the thoughts that drive your actions. No one else in your life can make these happen. It is down to you. The blame rests with you. It does not rest with others. Others may share from time to time the same sentiment, but such behaviors and feelings and thoughts that you have in your life are incredibly fluid. They are moving in and out of you all the time. So take responsibility for who you are. No one else can, nor should you expect others to take responsibility for the living of your life. It is your life. You are living of yourself, what you have created through your divine plan. There is nothing in this divine plan that allow your divine plan to speak to you. Allow it to be incorporated into your mind and your heart and your body. Allow it to speak to you, to guide you, so that you are able to take more and more responsibility for the living of your life. We will not say that it is simple for you. We will not say that it is difficult. It is what it is. Shape within your heart that which you need to be. To be within. So we leave you now. We leave you in peace. We leave you in joy. We leave you in love. Our blessings to all of you.
Comes back to himself shortly. And thank you all for being part of the service this morning. We've had a wonderful, uplifting service. It's been great to see all the names come up at the bottom of the screen and know that even if we've not been able to communicate with them during the week, it's just been lovely to see everyone's name up and know that we're still there together as a congregation, as a group of people. And, we feel very, very lucky to be where we are at this point. We've been safe, we've been secure, we've been able to meet together with like minds. Anthony, welcome back to us. Thank you very much for taking part this morning and from hearing from you on your Inspired Bible Following. Wonderful. Absolutely. And we have for the last 2 or 3 weeks, I think about 3 weeks now, been doing some meditative scenes on the screen on YouTube and Facebook to just drift off a little bit of self-healing and meditation as we leave this service. So So I'm just going to close in prayer, and we need to then look at all of the various different activities that are happening on Spiritual Productions, and thank Richard again for hosting for us. I know that there is an afternoon at 2:30, and there is an evening event as well. So there's the Angel special on Monday the 1st of June at 12:30. I can see now coming on, but that's something for next week. We've got the Spiritual Unity, Closing the Gap, Monday. So Hannah, we've had a few problems, but hopefully everyone was able to listen to that and to just lose themselves in those words of encouragement and upliftment from how it inspires directly from the spirit world. And I say we're going to now have an opportunity just to, as I say, close the service, but open ourselves up for just a few minutes, just short minutes for meditation, to keep us going for the rest of the week until we meet again. We are in great need of healing to be sent in that direction, as well as healing for all of those that have been unwell. So if we can just, as we close this service, and we thank our Father and Mother God for this service, for allowing us to be together, to be able to come together with like-minded people, and to spread that knowledge in your existence, and to hear the wonderful inspired words. And we are blessing on all heads here, by each family, all different members, until we meet again at our next service. Amen. And then if you get yourself nicely comfortable to meditation, we can use it as an opportunity if we get stressed during the week to remember back on these beautiful we have. If we do lose visual, then just listen to my words. taking that sense of freedom, that feeling in harmony with nature, the energy from the water, the energy from the trees, from our greenery, from being in a favourite location, favourite holiday, a favourite memory. It may be down at the Harry Edwards Healing Sanctuary where the bluebells are out in the woods, or in the wonderful garden on the walk down by the cherry trees that Harry Edwards walked upon, looking over the fields. But take the energy from the waves, take it from the sky, take it from the earth, from the trees. Feel that connection with spirit, that connection with the inner you. Look to our positive purpose and to our plan. Take in another deep breath. Just feel in harmony with nature. Just feel the warmth from your face, the breeze through your hair. There's just you and there's nature. See the beautiful sun streaming through the leaves of the trees, the golden rays of sunshine. Feel that togetherness with nature. Feel the energy come through your toes and fingers, all through your body as you receive healing for yourself and others around you. Look to that wonderful horizon of sky with the sun and know that we are just a small part of one big universe, and the universe that links us to spirit, to who we are as eternal beings. Feel that energy. Feel that vitality coming back into you. Feel that peace, that harmony. Take the stillness of the mountains, or the energy of the water in the lakes and rivers and oceans. Feel that peace. Feel that togetherness. Just tap into that wonderful energy. Feel that just wonderful peace. Let's open our hearts and open our minds. Let's embrace Mother Earth. Feel that energy. Keep this as our tonic to keep us through the hard times ahead. We're getting through. We can see the end. We know that we have the unity amongst us, the strength in the numbers with our friends and family, our church family, and our expanding church family. Let's take another couple of deep breaths, as we know that very shortly we'll have to come back out of our meditation. Feel our feet firmly on the ground once more. Know that we have that personal responsibility that Anthony's Inspire spoke about. It's about how we conduct ourselves in the week, how we keep ourselves free from harm, how we keep others free from harm, how we look after our community, how our community is a reflection of us, and how we have a chance to open our heart, build our own inner community with others, develop our spirituality, feel that inner peace within that we feel now, feel the vitality of the waterfall, feel the energy as we receive the healing, and know that we have been made strong, resolute. We have climbed the mountain and we are coming down the other side. The ground is becoming more flat. The hard work is behind us. So go forward in your spiritual journey and your physical life journey. Go forward with courage and determination. Go forward with inner peace. Resolve a new you in today, a new positive outlook. As I say goodbye to all of you, until we meet again next week at our church service. And remember to look out for all the other wonderful programs that Richard's putting on. It's a chance of developing your horizon. So try something for the first time. Keep safe. God bless you all. Thinking of you all, out of sight but not out of mind. Take care from myself, from the churches, and from Ray, until we meet again. Amen.